What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the Duramax channel, where we will be finally getting ready to put this truck fully back together. Like I said, we have the heads, we got the intake runners all cleaned up, and we have the guide pins in. All the surfaces pretty much cleaned up, ready to go. I'm waiting for some, probably gonna get some torque lube for the bolts from the ARP stuff and get everything set to go. We're gonna be replacing all these rubber lines, like I said in the last video. Basically though, today we're going to be working on reassembling the heads and probably getting at least one side set on the block with the new gasket and everything. So everything's cleaned up, parts swatched this, clean the surface, everything. And so we're going to RTV that and stick it back on and get all these bolts torqued down and ready to go. So it should be fairly simple today. Probably just going to do this one side, get this thing all set up. Like I said, we just got back from the machine shop. So they usually do oil the head so that way there's no corrosion or anything and all the cleaning solvents. So just brake cleaned it real quick, used the solvent to clean this, brake cleaned that, wiped everything down. That way the RTV has a good surface to seal on. Just some black Optimum RTV. This is for oil pans and stuff for the front cover, but because of the EGR and everything, it should work just fine on this. And we'll get this all back together and ready to go on. Alright guys, so you don't need to go super crazy when laying the RTV. There's a little channel that sits in. You gotta think everything that squeezes out is basically gonna go into the head a little bit or out. So you want to be careful and kind of keep it more towards the outside of the of everything. So just a thin layer and get this sucker on there. We'll throw these two. Goes on the stud, so it's pretty easy. Now you want to make sure they are labeled. So your right side head, obviously the push rods are towards the top, so it will basically, if the motor's forward this way, you got your right side head, because the back side coolant passages are plugged on these, and your front side's open, so that's where you know your coolant Y bridge or coolant crossover tube goes. You get your push rods towards the top, and then on this, you have a right hand marking, but you can also tell because the intake Y bridge goes obviously in front of the turbo, so you get more space and the clearance for the turbo on the back. So that's how you can kind of tell which way it goes. And the fuel rail bolts at the top. So that's a few indications on how you can tell which way this goes. But we're gonna get this thing set on there and kind of just squish down, and then we'll go over torquing all the bolts and everything. Alright guys, so like I always tell you, these Haynes manuals for the motors are the best way to go. They got the torque specs in order of what you need to do here for your right side and your left side. And the torque is 15 foot-pounds for all the bolts and the nuts. So basically just going to go through this torque sequence on this head, get everything kind of sealed down, and let this head set. And we'll probably do the injector cups after. I think I'm going to put this whole head together, so I might actually not put this head on the block today. Still waiting for some other things, but I'm gonna take the injectors down to get tested and cleaned. And once we have the injectors back, I might assemble the whole head outside of the motor. That way all the fuel lines and all that kind of hard to get to stuff is done. And then we can just throw the valve covers on and then do the valve lash and everything. We'll do the valve lash, then throw the valve covers on after the motor's on. We won't have to worry about the injectors being in the way or anything. So probably the plan for this is just today get this torque down, get the injector cup set up and in, and do the other side, and call it a day on that. So we got the other intake runner on, and I'm just throwing the glow plugs in. I got them all on this block. I got to torque them down still. I don't have the seal for the injector cups yet. I thought I got some, but I did not, so I have to go pick some of that up or order it or whatnot. So we'll probably do that once we get the head in. But I don't know if I'm going to throw them on today. I might just get these torqued down. I don't know how much time I have left. I got some time, so I might get one of the cylinder heads on and get everything kind of situated. So I'm gonna get these on and look up the torque. I don't know if it's in here. Glow plugs. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look in the cylinder head teardown, but like I said, this book has just about everything, so we're gonna check out the torque specs, get these torqued, and I'll kind of wrap up for this and probably get this cylinder head on and aligned and everything. That way we can cover it and clean it and get everything ready to go. And I'm not gonna torque it yet because I wanted some of the ARP lube for the cylinder head bolts and everything, so just kind of get it set on there, probably throw a bolt in, just might even throw like an old bolt in, just clean it up just to hold it so that way it doesn't fall off or anything.
1001 to current Duramax truck.
Alright guys, so this is why you should always open your parts and look at what you got. So they, shout out to Merchant, they actually sent the thread locker for the injector cups and sealant for all the valve covers and stuff. Like I said, I use my own, it'll be fine, but they have pretty much everything we need for the installation. So we have the tube, so I'm probably gonna throw the injector cups in now, which should be fairly easy to do. Just put the new O-rings on, throw some of this on the on this part of the injector cup right here, kind of around this rim, and let it run down, and then these should seal right up. But I might wait also because I'm not throwing the injectors in yet, so I don't want it to just kind of be sitting in there, so I might wait, and just that way we can have the clamping force on it afterwards. So probably still gonna hold off on the injectors, but Merchant really does hook it up, and they have every gasket, return line, O-ring, everything you need to get this motor back together. So definitely awesome stuff. Alrighty guys, so we're about to lay the head gasket down. A really important step is you want to take like an air chuck and make sure you blow out all the shit out of every head bolt hole. That way there's no like water, no nothing in there. I already did this side, but you just want to make sure that they're all clean. Kind of just go like that, make sure all the threads are clean, there's no dirt or junk down there. That way you can get the head bolts in, there's nothing binding it up, and that way all your torques are right on. I took an old push rod and kind of cleaned up the bottom of it and just checked all the seats for the push rods to make sure they're all clean. But I'm gonna throw the gasket on now. I don't have an angle torque gauge to torque the bolts, so we're gonna get the head set on, probably throw the bolts in, get the push rods in with some assembly lube, and then kind of just leave it like that for now. That way at least it's covered, this side's clean, ready to go. But I need to pick up an angle torque gauge this week. That way we can actually torque the head bolts and everything and check timing to make sure all the gears are on correctly and everything. So probably gonna get that head set on. We got both them sealed up, got the glow plugs in and torqued to 13 foot-pounds. So this is a driver's side head, so I'm gonna grab the passenger side head and kind of get it set in there and make sure everything's good to go. And this is your new head gasket, so it's a MLS. This is a grade C head gasket. You can tell by the positions over here. There's actually, right here you got all your different positions and everything. It actually tells you what each one is. So grade C is 3, so you get a hole at the bottom. So right here you can see there's a hole on the bottom of the big piece. So kind of differentiates like what you want. So you got overboard and all that stuff, so it's a good way to know everything, all that good stuff. So we're gonna get this laid on, get the head laid on the block, get the bolts threaded in so at least they're clean. In the book it says they come with lube already on them, so we're just gonna install them. And you actually do reuse these bolts, so I'm gonna clean them all up and get everything all set in, ready to go. Just that way at least the head's on, the side's covered, get the push rod set in there, get everything ready to go. Alrighty guys, so the head is set on, I dropped all the bolts in. Basically I'm just gonna cover up with a trash bag for now, kind of keep all the junk out of it, keep everything clean. I did clean the inside of the intake runners and everything, got all the junk out of there, so nice and cleaned up. I'm gonna put that head in the truck, and we're just gonna basically set this on here. Like I got one bolt kind of hand tight down. I don't want to, I think I'm gonna wait for the lube anyways, just to be safe. But as far as that goes, basically this head is on, everything's ready to go. Probably not gonna do the other side today because still gotta clean it and everything. But we're gonna cover it up, make sure no junk gets in there, and kind of call it a day. I gotta go to work, so, and I'm waiting for that angle torque gauge anyways, so I'm trying to get some, get in touch with Snap-on out here and see if I can use some connections to get all the tools I need. But everything's basically ready to go as far as this motor going back together. So we're just gonna take our time and kind of not jump the gun on anything. Gonna still clean up a bunch of parts, clean up the valve bridges and stuff. So getting there. Got our ARP, or not ARP, our stock head bolts here. So keep those nice and organized. Cover that so the injector cups don't get dirty, and then put some lock thread locker on it. Got the new exhaust manifold gaskets, all the gaskets from Merchant to kind of keep everything together, and all the return line crush washers and everything. So just kind of taking our time, but this motor should be back together very soon. So hopefully I love motor projects, but I hate when they take forever just waiting on stupid shit. So kind of self-inflicted, but we're gonna leave that for now, get everything wrapped up, and that's gonna do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a thumbs up. Like I said, we're leaving the front cover off, even though it says to put all this stuff together. I want to make sure it's timed right. It's kind of hard to see down there behind the reluctor wheel. It looks like it's in the right spot, but only one way to tell is just, you know, assemble the motor. I'm gonna pour oil down too. I'm gonna drain the oil, probably fill it back up, fill it back up, clean everything out, put some oil on the valves and everything and the push rods, and make sure everything's good. That's gonna be after the injectors are in. So I'm gonna pull the injectors out of the truck, bring them down to get them tested, cleaned, all that good stuff. That way we know we have a good set of injectors in here and replace any ones that are bad. And we should be ready to go to start pulling these back together and kind of just getting everything all set. So there should be a new set of washers in the Merchant Auto kit. I know it comes with the O-rings for the injectors cups. We have all the brand new injector cups, and somewhere in here should be all the crush washers, but I know usually they put them in there. So that's gonna do it, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed. We still got a lot of work ahead of us, but we're making progress. So at least the motor's starting to come back together, and we can get this thing all straightened out and taken care of. That's gonna do it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope you guys are loving these engine builds. We got a swap coming up next, I believe. So at that, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you later. I'm gonna go get ready for work and clean up around here, so organize everything. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I'll catch you later.